let's just segue really abruptly to the ESPN body issue. Something I wrote about a little bit, and Deadspin had a really funny way of looking at it when they had the here's Clay Matthews watering his lawn, which kind of draws attention to the fact that obviously it's not Clay Matthews, it's Hope Solo, and like what is Hope Solo doing watering her lawn instead of in some pose, or like the woman who was in the gymnastics pose was like incredible. Why were the women's poses more just like almost out of a fashion magazine than out of like look at this incredible body of like from an athletic standpoint?
Yeah, well, I don't. It was kind of funny. I felt like I haven't seen all the pictures, I guess, but I actually thought that a lot of them were like, I don't know, legitimately athletic poses. Like the Hope Solo cover shot, she's doing some like yoga warrior pose. I don't know if you saw that.
I haven't seen
But
that one. I'm not
the
actually gonna
watering
buy this
one,
magazine.
yeah, no, but the watering one is like really just the out of left field one where it's like, I mean, it's absurd to look at, right? It's just like she's just standing there watering grass, and it's and we're looking at like an Olympic professional goalie, and like I got a kick out of that because ESPN always defend this every year, and they always say like, I think the language in like the ombudsman piece last year was like, this is about celebrating and exploring the athletic figure and shit like that, and then you have Hope Solo watering grass, which is not.
But that's something that is,
sports.
I think, endemic to the way that women's sports are covered generally, where there's blurring of sexuality and performance, especially in individual sports.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think a lot of women, like Hope Solo has kind of addressed this before, is how, like, kind of the double standard where, like, if she doesn't give in to that to a certain amount, like, she's not going to get publicity or get the interviews or get bring
Right.
attention to the women's soccer team. But she also wants to, like, not fall into the be on the cover of the swimsuit issue or something like that. So I don't know. I'm not like mad that Hope Solo posed naked watering grass. I think it's just like more. It's more like ESPN shouldn't have organized that shot because it's stupid.
Do you think they kind of balanced it out with Helio Castronovis or whatever his name is, swinging naked in a tire swing? Like that was awesome. I gotta say, like that's how you celebrate a sport.
Yeah, there you go. That was incredible, actually. The look on his face was like it lacked any self-awareness. It was amazing.
As far as like Deadspin goes, you're kind of branded as the feminist there, and you're the female voice of a very male-dominated comment section and website. Do you have problems getting your article ideas in motion, or do you get pretty much just free reign? You can write whatever you want, and they pretty much approve what you're doing?
I definitely get free reign. I'd say like often too much. Like I think sometimes I don't really like want to just be doing like the women's issue on Deadspin every week that there is one, because I think that's kind of boring. But when stuff comes up that I feel like passionate about, they're totally open to me writing about it, and I've never like written anything that I felt was out of bounds or like that didn't like flow with the rest of the site, I guess. And maybe that's because I don't know like the intricate history of Deadspin like a lot of people do. So I just kind of treated it like a website that I've known for the past year, But as far as like feeling comfortable writing about women or like women's sports or the NBA whenever I want, like, yeah, there's a lot of freedom there.
Are you kind of becoming more of like I mean, you write really well about the NBA, and you do it, pretty often, I think, when there's actually stuff going on and not a horrible, mind-crushing, soul-defeating lockout in the midst.
Yes.
Do you feel like you're kind of becoming that go-to NBA person for the site, and you kind of have that that dimension taken care of?
Yeah, I've just gotten a lot more confident writing about it the last year or so. I think writing with Tommy Craggs is really like incredible for a young person who wants to write about the NBA because he is just really talented. and has a way of like writing about it with an authority that I'd like to like, I don't know, learn at some point. 'Cause I feel really young, you know, like it's a.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 23.
You
And
never
I
asked
think,
that, Beckley. That's rude. If I've learned one thing about women.
Yeah, and I guess what I also think about NBA writing is like I really love doing it, but I also think like sitting at a computer, like kind of waxing about NBA games or like certain players or like a certain game style can only go so far. So I wonder what kind of like longevity that actually has as far as like a writing career.
Well, that's awkward because that's what we do.
Can totally relate.
Well, it's an interesting
Yeah,
question.
because what you guys are doing is not going anywhere, and so I really don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, well, we can have a group existential crisis at some point if you guys want. So.
You're way behind us. This lockout has put us both in a tailspin of depression and stuff.
I'm writing about Jersey Shore. That's the only thing I write about now, so I'm
I know in
clearly
the
off the edge.
WNBA, you're the biggest Lynx fan I know, Zach.
Oh my God, I'm the only Lynx fan I know. So
Well,
All
are
right,
you guys
Emma,
gonna be
well,
watching some college
sorry.
hoops though?
Oh,
College hoops, right? Yeah.
I'll be dead in for college hoops. I'm locked in, but right now I just want to die.
Yeah. Well, don't do that.
Thanks for the words of support and for coming on. This was great.
Yes. All right. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Thanks, Emma.
All right, you can follow Emma on Twitter at Emma Cargo, and you can also find her on Deadspin. She's one of about five regular writers, and she's super talented. So keep track of her.